Hey, what's good, barbecue family? It's your boy Joe Mill here, back with Killer Miller Q, and today in this laid-back resort-style version of our video, we're gonna be putting together some peri peri chicken using the Green Mountain Grill. This won't take long. We're gonna get right to it. We got work to do. This is how this thing gonna start off. We got these two fresh, whole, young chickens right over here. Still got them in this little package so we don't drip too much blood. But this is one of my Costco favorites right here. They come in the 2-pack. Can't beat it, man. Look at that price. Especially as much as things cost these days. We talking about both of these chickens for about $8.50. We don't got a whole lot to do other than I got to get it out these packages. I need to get these babies cleaned out and cleaned off and rinsed off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to salt these babies and hit them with a little bit of pepper. Basically, they'll be sitting right there on the rack. This can go overnight. I don't quite have that much time, but we're going to let them hang out. And there are my clean whole chickens right there. Basically, all I do is I like to cut the tail off. I like to open up the top half and get rid of some of that extra fat that's right there. I cut the neck off if there's anything left. And then on the inside, I try to get rid of a lot of the insides, the giblets and stuff like that. Everyone doesn't have everything, but always check and then always clean out the little dookie track and all the rest of that stuff down there by the backbone. And other than that, these is ready to go. I do need to get rid of all of this water and this moisture, so we're about to grab some paper towels and thoroughly dry these babies off before applying some seasoning. Now on to the dry brining. We'll be using a little bit of this kosher salt. I'm gonna be adding a little black pepper for my own thrills. We're gonna go pretty heavily inside of the cavity as well as front and back. All right, all salted. Didn't get too much salt inside the cavity because that won't go anywhere. This little bit on the top is going to get absorbed. It's going to give us a nice juicy bird. And this is step one. This is going directly into the fridge just like you see it uncovered. And these babies will go hang out. If you can, like I said, you want this overnight. All right, so now that we didn't have that chicken over there with that dry brine still in the refrigerator, been rocking along. Like I said, I didn't do overnight. Would have probably preferred that, but I got about a good 8 hours in. It's about time to get in this Killer Miller Peri Peri mixture, shall we? Or this sauce that we're going to be marinating in. So pretty much looking at things from left to right. Starting off, I got a big, a large shallot that I was able to chop up. All of this stuff is just going right into the blender. So no particular method that you got to necessarily get this to other than getting it cleaned up a little bit. We got about roughly 7 garlic cloves. I got a whole lemon over here that I not only took the little bit of the outside of, but then I also turned around, skinned it, got rid of most of the white, and there is the rest of the lemon. As far as peppers, these, and I can smell them from here already, are some of the peppers that we went with. Pretty much, if you can get some peri peri peppers in here. I couldn't find those, so went with just some general red hot peppers here. I got about 7 of those that we chopped up, and this right here is going to be my base to kind of help me out and loosen it up a little bit. I got 1 large red bell pepper that's going to be going in there, so that'll somewhat sweeten up the mixture. Other than that, you got about a tablespoon of tomato paste there. In this watery mixture here, I got about 7 tablespoons of oil, 5 tablespoons of water, and 2 tablespoons of vinegar. You got a couple teaspoons of both salt and sugar. You also got a tablespoon of oregano, along with a tablespoon and a half of smoked paprika. We're going to throw all of this right here in the pool, and we're gonna get us a good blend. All right, got my Vitamix in here. We're gonna start with the liquid ingredients and get them in first. It's kind of the base. Sweet bell peppers, my large shallot, or you can use like a red onion, garlic, lemon, the lemon shavings or peels, tomato paste, paprika, oregano, sugar. Finally, we got a little bit of kosher salt. Color. I want to blend that until it gets pretty smooth, but overall, that looks like what we want. Let's get a taste. And we'll find out if we got the salt to our liking. Oh yeah, that's good. Wow. Really happy with the way that tastes. Perfect on salt. Just a little bit in there right now, but we already got that bird salted, so I don't want this to be too salty, but tons of flavor. I'm surprised it's not too hot with the amount of peppers I added in there, but coming back with that red, a sweet bell pepper, red pepper, I think probably definitely helped me out a little bit. Super happy with this. Let me get this out. Let me go grab those chickens. We're going to get those marinated and get some of this over there. You want to put some of this to the side. We are going to be using this for serving at the very end, but also basting along the way. And here are these there chickens. After about, like I said, about 8 hours sitting in the fridge, kind of getting that dry salt brine in there. You can see it's got kind of that sticky looking texture. And most of that salt has all been accepted into this meat. As you can kind of see the redder spots in there too, which is a good thing. So we should have us a good bit of moisture now pulled and sucked into this meat, as well as it should help us a little bit with our flavor. So what the plan is going to be, hopefully we'll be able to make both of these fit into this jumbo hefty bag right here. And then we're going to get some of that peri peri sauce inside of the cavity, and of course rubbed all the way around it. And we're putting these babies back in the refrigerator to chill out. Let's see how much I can get done. Man, I tell you what, that worked out pretty nice. I got to make sure I put it on my list to go back and get me some more of these hefty jumbo bags here. 2 whole chickens was in here. Last time we did our pastrami, and we put a whole brisket in here, about a 14-pound brisket. It was able to hold that. This works great. Being able to kind of keep everything submerged, keep it clean. Pretty much got some in the cavity, rubbed it all the way around, and now it's going back to the fridge to hang out just like you see it. We're gonna let all of this flavor marinate into this meat a little bit, and then we'll be back to kind of get this out and on the skewer. And periodically I'm slipping in here during the night. I'm gonna flip this over and get us a little bit of massage. We're gonna let this get a nice good soak, and then we come to get this in the morning. The morning after. Check out that old bird, or these birds, should I say. They've been in here clucking all night long. I've been getting them some rotations and flip overs and everything, and you can just see all that seasoning. You know, it started off with that salt and pepper, but I tell you what, that peri peri sauce that we put together on here is going to be amazing. Feeling good about that one. Didn't make it too hot, so I wasn't too scared. If it was a warmer mix, I probably wouldn't have let it marinate as long, but I really wanted to let some of this flavor get in here. This thing has been flipped back and forth a few times over. It's about time to get these birds out of here. I'm gonna start with one, and I'm gonna slide it right over here just to a clean flat pan or whatever you got. But we're gonna trust this and get it ready for the skewer. Here is subject number 1 all done. I'm not the best at the trusting. However, I think this is one of my better trusts. And then I did it. I love pulling those wings, putting them back, getting them out the way. Kind of let it sit back like it's sun tanning. I'll be cutting off that extra little bit of string there just for pretty purposes. I'm going to slide this one into this bowl. And then I'll take this bag out of here, which again, these hefty jumbo bags, man, no drips, no nothing. Great investment. I definitely got to add some more of those to my repertoire. But I'll slide this one actually out the way, and then let me get the other one in here, get it trussed up, and then I'll show you how we're going to put it on the skewer. Both of these birds are ready to rock and roll. They trusted it, shall we say. And basically, when you're doing your truss, all you're doing is wrapping these babies up so you can keep everything nice and tight, so they don't be flopping around too much while they're on that skewer. But then also, as you kind of move and pull some of this meat in close to each other, as you can kind of see in here with some of these legs and stuff like that, it allows them to not get overdone or more or less on those wings and stuff like that. And that way everything can kind of cook more evenly all together. Makes us a nice, tight, compact little area. That's one reason why I wanted to make sure that we got a decent amount of that in the cavity. I wanted to make sure that that starts to permeate from the inside all the way out. What I'm going to be doing, since I don't got no super motor or anything like that, just a general GMG rotisserie, I'm going to turn one of these birds upside down, so breast side will be down, the other one you'll see breast side up. When we put it in the skewer, I'm going to slide it in right underneath that breast area and right on top of those legs, and it'll come through. That should help it stay on there nice and tight, and we'll kind of go at it from there. We are up to par, and it's time to go out here to this rotisserie. As you can see, I got both of these babies on. Didn't quite get to do one up, one down. It didn't quite seem like it was fitting right, but I did kind of get it to the point where they're kind of half and half. So this is kind of pretty much direct breast right in front of you facing up. This one, you can see the breast is a little bit cocked over here to the side a little bit, so it took down most of that gap that's there in the middle. Allowed them kind of squeeze in there nice and tight together. That should help keep these both of these breasts a little bit more moist. But one way or another, I want to make sure that this thing actually turns and that this all stays together. We added a little bit more of that additional rub or marinade that we had in the bag right back onto the top after kind of, you know, trussing it and getting it on there. You take a lot of stuff and it ends up getting knocked off, so just getting a little bit more on there. I want to get to be nice and wet when I get it started. I'm gonna get a pan underneath there, so we're gonna catch a lot of these drippings out of there. You can use this, heat it back up to get kind of kill off the bacteria, since we did have chicken marinating in there, and you can use that to baste. However, I do have additional, and we're going to do some other things too along the way. As far as my counterweight, not quite sure if this is going to be right yet, but what I'm trying is I'm going to go for a straight down, being a little bit opposite of both of these breasts to kind of help it even itself out. And then pretty much here you got this collector collar that we'll tighten up once we get it on there. Sits right on here, kind of helps it stay in line and then more or less roll. But before this pig gets too hot, let's get to the middle of it. Alright, so we got them out here. My turn is a little off, but overall, I ain't too mad. It's gonna work out just fine. I got me a thin sheet of pan under here, more or less with a little bit of water in there. You can barely kind of tell, but there's a little bit of water in there just to provide a little bit of moisture so everything don't burn up instantly. But then also it can start catching a lot of these drippings. We'll turn around and be able to use this to rebase some of these chickens here once we get everything kind of flowing in just a little bit. But they're looking pretty good. I'll get a quick rebasting and we're gonna close this thing up. Today we cooking along 350 on the dial, smooth and easy. This thing's gonna roll out with these Costco pellets. We shouldn't have no issues. I expect this cook to easily take somewhere between 2 and 4 hours. We'll see. Oh, and before we get too far along, I almost forgot. We'll be using something new today. I'm going to the good people over there at Inkberg. Big shout out to them. They brought me a wireless thermometer here that we'll be trying out in today's cook, which should actually work out perfect. Not only will this be one that we don't got to worry about any wires, but this will be something I can put directly into my breast that's closest to the fire. And then it'll also give me the internal temp as well as this black part on the outside. You're able to get the ambient temp on here as well. So it'll let me know the temp of my grill, which will kind of be interesting because I want to see where my Green Mountain is at these days. But also give me a good idea where I'm at on this chicken without me having to do much checking in. Let me throw this in real quick. There won't be a whole lot for us to see, but we'll take a peek at it in maybe an hour or so, and I'll come and show you what that looks like.
Hey team, I want to jump in here real quick and let you know thanks for following along on today's cooking. If you are new to the channel, go to the bottom right corner, make sure you subscribe, check out any videos you've missed, and if you haven't done it yet, find me on Facebook, IG, and TikTok.
Alright team, we popping in here at about an hour and 15 minutes. I had to get rid of my tray. It was starting to, as you can see, rub a little bit. So it wasn't quite doing it the way I wanted. I ain't have enough clearance, but you can see we got these things rolling. Also, along the way, sometimes you got to kind of adjust your skewers and kind of push them back down. They start cooking, they start shrinking up, and I think the heat allows these to start loosening up a little bit so that they don't have quite as much as tightness. So anyway, just made a little tighten up. Still looking good. They starting to get some of that good color. I'm not gonna worry too much about them right now, because if these things keep going, I'll bring you back in about an hour. Alright, here we are 2 hours 35 minutes in. I actually needed to bump up to 400. This last like half hour. Let's see what we got. I smell these birds. Oh, they're looking beautiful. I can see that it's cooked out of its spot. Yes, yes. Let me stop the rollout, man. Check out that color. I took it off the skewer for a quick second. Obviously, it would have cooked off of it a little bit, and I wanted to kind of check things out. Cutler is looking beautiful, and it's right about a good time. So part of the reason why I went ahead and kicked it up to 400 was I was looking at that internal temperature that I was getting off of here. Well, I'm sorry, that ambient temperature that I was getting right off of here on this Inkbird, and to my, not to my surprise, but to pretty much what I was expecting, it was reading super low on the inside. I was only at about 280 or 250 or so degrees, almost about 100 degrees off from that 350 that I was actually going for. So I went ahead and kicked it up to 400. Was noticing that it almost got up to the end close to about 300 then. So like I said, still about 100 degrees off. Not a big deal. Here's what we're gonna do. Just got a quick chance to put that thermopin in a few spots. I'm coming out at around 147 to 150-ish in most spots, so obviously not done. Obviously we got some good color, but this is the perfect time to bring up some more glaze. Let's pull this in the house. I'm gonna redirect this and get this tightened back up on here so this will spin nice and good, and we're gonna get a little wetness on here. Man, this chicken smelling so good, looking so good, even though we're not quite up to temps. Like I said, we in between about 145 to 150 degrees. Got some good color going already over here on this bird. You can see all that good juice coming out here. I'm actually going to be saving that to kind of re-impart back over it one later on as we kind of bathe it. But took a quick second, grabbed out some of that liquid gold master sauce right there. There goes some of that homemade Killer Miller Q Peri Peri sauce. We're going to take a moment to go ahead and reglaze these babies so they're going to look nice and orangish red by the time we get to the end. Bring some more of that char back out. And right here, we're just giving it another level up on this flavor. There we go. One side's good enough all the way around, nice and slathered. One thing I did do is I'm about to rotate these birds. So pretty much I'm just taking this side over here that was rotating and turning and switching it, and this side will be the one that's going in the machine, which will turn around and make this bird a little closer to the warmer side of my grill. Let it get a little bit more of that char. As you can see, that one's already got going, but they both looking pretty good. Once I get this out there on the skewer and get it rotating, I'll take care of the bottom half, or should I say the front half. Smoky and hot out here. I brought it back down to 350 because, like I said, I got my color. Only got about another 25 degrees to go or so. Hit this side right here. I'm gonna turn this on for a second. Oh man, I don't want it to go that way. I want it to rotate the other way. When you turn it off after a second, it will reverse the rotation. There we go. I'm gonna let this come around a little bit more, and then that's the other area right here I need to hit. There we go. That should just about do it. Definitely put it on there respectfully thick. I wasn't afraid, but I don't want it on there too gloppy. All of it's gonna end up falling right back off once you get started. But here we go. We got quite a bit of ways to go. Another half hour or something like that. I'll bring you back. Alright, so I'll bring you back in here to this old dirty bowl. And pretty much what this is, that bowl that we was just using a second ago to base this. And as you can see, what I did was I took that juice that I accumulated on that flat pan that I had those sitting in as I was readjusting it, poured that juice off. Now you know this wasn't cooked chicken, so don't taste that juice. But what I am going to use is this is going to be, now you know this has got a lot of salt in there. It's got a lot of flavor already from what was dripping out of that chicken, from the marinade and the taste in there and flavor. And then obviously you got the leftover remnants, which I'm kind of getting out of this baster, along with what was on the bowl. That's kind of mixed it in here just to get us some more flavor. I'm actually going to take this and sit this back out there on the smoker. Obviously you can heat this up real quick. Truthfully, that's probably what I'll end up doing. I'll wait until later. Throw this on the stove real quick fast and just bring it up to a nice little bit of a boil. Make sure that we kill everything off. But this will be what I kind of use at the last little bit, just to put a little bit of wetness on there. Make sure it stays nice and moist. And from there, we'll be able to serve it right along the side, that chicken, with some more of this Peri Peri that we got that hasn't been used yet. And we should have us some good eating. So I'm gonna put this to the side. I'll get this all warmed up and put to the side, and then we'll see it again later. All right, team, here we go. 3 hours, 46 minutes. I'm getting the temperature showing me that we're supposed to be about done. Beautiful color. Come on up off of there, doggies. Let's check y'all out. Chickens are looking pretty. We getting in, building in those layers of the flavor. You can start to see that color popping through a little bit. Got plenty of good char on here. I was able to tear this bird up a little bit as it slid off the rack once again, and it started to kind of like more or less tear into it. Not a big problem because they all gonna get broke down here in the end anyway. But as far as my pretty factor, obviously it bothered that. So here's where we at. My breasts are actually getting to about where I want them to be. However, and that's one thing I always notice whenever you do the trussing of the bird and getting it all nice and tight, you can even tell these legs are not as done as I usually like getting them. I usually take them up to 185-ish or something like that. So in order to get the rest of this chicken to where I want it to be without overly drying out my breast, we're about to switch over now. Pull these babies off. I got plenty of good color, got a little bit of smoke in here. You can see I moved that thermometer. It was initially up here in this breast. I put it down here in my bigger of the two, more in the thigh area. And then what I'm about to do now is I'm about to wrap this. That juice that we had is going to go right over the top. Just a little bit of moisture to kind of get it up and help it steam. Get some aluminum foil on here. We back on the rack until we get this thing done. There we go. Got it in a nice little pan. Nothing too crazy. Already we're starting to drip a little bit of juices on that plate again. Pour those little bits off. And now we're going back over the top with a little bit more of this, which is kind of thickened up, which had that fat in there, along with some of the juice that pushed out of there, the leftover bit of peri peri sauce. Let's get this all moisturized. Man, these babies look so much better. Nice and rehydrated. Really like, got a little bit left. Let me get it on this one. I really like being able to basically give it back with the love that it already gave me. Nothing extra getting added onto this bird, just a lot of bird flavoring, some salt, the peri peri juice that we already wanted, and just the naturalness of this bird. This thing is good to go. I might put just a splash of water in here, but other than that, let's get it covered up. Back to the pit. I tried to dome it a little bit, as you can kind of see, so it's not touching too much on there. Hopefully that don't pull off too much of our pretty skin, but one way or another, let's get this done. I'll bring y'all back in a little bit. All right, 4 hours, 35 minutes. This baby is done. I know we got some heat up under here. Woo, lots of steam. Hey, y'all. All right, we didn't kill all our skin up there at the top of this, which is good. I'm gonna let these hang out a little bit. And then we're going to break down the one that's already broken up. And we're going to get us a taste. Alright, pardon my reach, but we're going to try to deconstruct this bird down here a little bit. First thing I'll do is let's get rid of some of this twine. Yeah, and you know what? My twine work was actually pretty good this time. That actually stayed the whole time. Still got work to do on that rotisserie and getting it to the point where it's not coming apart, especially trying to do the two birds. The one, you can really just hold it in, clamp it super tight. You might still have to adjust that clamp every once in a while, but usually that does the trick. But being that it was two of them that I had going on there, you had one that or basically they didn't have an area where they were connected in the front, so that did lead to a little bit of it loosening up. But all in all, the work got done. Get rid of this. This bird is juicy, man. Look at this. Let alone this ain't even what it came in. So this is usually how I do my bird. Obviously, it's a bunch of different ways you can do it. I usually go for the easy way, which is open and going right towards these skin areas. You could definitely go straight down the middle, split it into two halves, and kind of go from there. But pretty much all I do is follow this seam right here in the thigh. And I mean, if you look, it pretty much will start separating that leg quarter right out for you. So that's usually what I'll do first is, and I kind of try to get away from so much of that backbone. That baby is tender, so it came straight up off of there. Bloop. Remember, this is the one that tore up a little bit. Same thing on this side. I'm just going to kind of follow right down through that line. Lots of juicy juice. And this baby is still a little hot. I end up getting these legs up to about 180, 185. So they are nice and done. Slide that one right over there. You got some of that good meat towards the back. We're going to taste some of that. A little redness in there from that smoke. Get that little bit of glob of fat out of there. I don't like none of that. I ain't going to lie to you. Wow, that's juicy. Smooth flavor too. I ain't even get no skin. Okay, not even supposed to be doing that yet. Okay, so I kind of get that out of there. From there, you can kind of just get rid of this whole, a little bit more of the back. So I like tearing this thing up. If you had a cat or something like that, there is some good meat left on there, but there's that. Now you pretty much got your halves. I'll go split that right into a half. And then I just need to get rid of, see, I start opening it up. It'll pretty much let you know exactly where that joint's at. Boom. For that one. And now we got a nice breast. I just got to get rid of some of that back area. Trim that down. And then some more I get to taste along the way. I got to get some of that in there to dip in that. Wonderful flavor. Super smooth. And very tender. Tenderoni. What you can expect from that kicking. If you look, I'm starting to spray this open. It's automatically going right there. All we're looking for is that groove. Don't fight it. Right? Boom. And where that bone connects. Boom. Throw that to the side. Now I basically got my breast. Let me clean up this board a little bit. As you can see, this is more than half of it's already gone. And it's not all been eaten. Took some of the prettiest stuff. I'm gonna show you that on the cutting board here in a second. But I've been eating a lot. I'm hungry. I can't help it. This is so good, man. This is just like some of the wing meat here. As you can kind of see, super tender, super juicy. Let me get that closer. Moist, got smoke all the way through it. I mean, this is nothing done to it. Obviously, my leg quarters, I won't put these over there on the board for my final pick because they got beat up. Kind of where that thing was in there, the agitator, and it was spinning around and just kind of tearing up the meat. But just look how tender this meat is. Just falling right off. I can literally just come in here and just pick right off the bone, man. Like I said, that moisture all the way through. It's super tender. Look at that. Just barely holding on with them literally connective tissues. That's what they're talking about, right? This chicken has so much flavor, and I already know that I just got the base level of it because I didn't put no slits in there or nothing like that. But wait till we get this with some additional peri peri. Let me get a bite of this though. It's so juicy. Look at my gloves on my hands. And these are just, like I said, random bits of the wing, some of the back that I already got rid of. A lot of good meat over here. It's about to get all broke down in the meal prep, so no complaints with it being already like this, but I'm gonna clean off this board. I'm gonna show you the pretty. We'll break down the cook. I'm gonna get y'all out. Game time, ladies and gentlemen. There go those two breasts right there. Took the bone off of them, sliced them up. You already saw I kind of broke down all the dark meat. There is the other whole chicken that stayed intact more or less. Never even took the twine up off of there, but not to worry, it will get broken down here soon enough. One thing I did want to do was I wanted to try a piece of this meat in some of the actual peri peri sauce that we made. Let's give that a try. So tender. The other thing is at the store, I actually found a peri peri sauce. And I'm just curious and I want to compare it. Melinda's Peri Peri garlic sauce. I'm going to pour a little bit of this over here on the board and we'll try that too. There it is. Now you can see that Melinda's sauce is a little darker than mine. We're going to go right in with another piece of this old breast. See some of those little dark spots in there. That's from where that probe was in this breast. But let me tell you, it tastes fire. Definitely different. This one tastes a lot more tangier, more vinegary. Mine, and I'm sure it's because I also wanted to make sure I wasn't too hot. I can really taste that last red bell pepper I put in there. Both of them are good though. Try some more of this. I'm down. Let me try some. Boy,
Hey, and I tell you what, you couldn't go wrong either way, whether you were using that Melinda's Peri Peri sauce or that Killer Miller Q version. Melinda's definitely was more tangier, had that more vinegary taste, a little bit more of the heat flavor. I feel like mine was more of a well-rounded flavor. I definitely had that red pepper that I can taste in there along with more of the garlic versus more of the chili kind of flavor. So if I wanted more heat, definitely could have went and lended more self to going a little bit heavier on the chilies. However, flavor-wise, I was pretty happy at what came out on that bird. Being able to kind of get that salt brine on there, my salt content was perfect. I like the way my overall color and texture came out with the being able to get some char on there. Couldn't be too mad. I do want to figure out a couple things. One being the degree of variance that I got right now on my Green Mountain Grill being at almost 100. That's just too much. But knowing that it's there, I can account for it, so I'm not too mad about it. But I do want to take some time, maybe clean out my little thermometer gauge, see if I can help that along. The other thing being, if I want to actually do another time where I want a rotisserie with 2 of those birds, maybe putting something in between where I can actually get some more of a connection, where I can then not have it where it keeps falling off and then one of them's not turning, and it's really just because there's nothing else that's holding that other side together. But those are small things. At the end of the day, my birds came out right, flavor came out right. That was another fun cook. I appreciate y'all for checking that one out. Shouts out to the family, all my boys over there with Black Smoke Barbecue. Anybody I missed, you in TV land, you know I appreciate you looking out for me another week. We'll get something out there for you soon. I'll catch you then. Peace.